We laugh, we'll cry, we'll dance, we'll share your pain. Sometimes it rains, but now it's time to gain. Oh. The Debbion Newman Project, hosting conversations throughout the nation. You're keeping it locked, don't forget. Doing it together, now we'll take a step. If you watch the show, you'll know everything you need to know. No other can. #1 entertainment show. Subscribe to YouTube so you'll catch it while you're on the go. Where energies flow, building each other, so we gotta grow. Oh, the Debbion Newman Project, hosting conversations throughout the nation. You're keeping it locked, don't forget. Doing it together, now we'll take a step.
Welcome to season 2 of the Debbion Newman Project. We're sponsored by the Reggae Hub, and we are honored to have you as our special guest today. So welcome, Kirby.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you.
So we've all seen in the media your very public breakup. We also seen revenge porn where you're concerned. We've also heard that person speak very poorly of you and tainted who you are as a person. So today what we're going to focus on is who Kirby is from her own mouth, from her own words. So therefore, whoever that might have misconceptions or who's been tainted by what they've seen on the media, today is that day to get rid of all of that. So my first question to you, in your own words, who is Kirby Farrell?
Kirby is everything. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a good person. I come from a good home, I'm a good friend. I say that to my niece all the time. I always say, you're not just one thing, you're everything.
Right.
And I don't put myself in a box, and I feel like I have the power to do anything that I want to do. I am powerful. Kirby
Right.
is a thing.
Right. Everything that is positive. Growing up, what are some of the struggles that you say that you might have faced on this journey called life? We go through so much as women. What is that one thing before this point? What is that one thing you feel happened in your life that changed you dramatically?
I definitely think becoming a police officer changed me dramatically. I feel like it taught me so much self-discipline. And a lot of people don't know I became a police officer because I wanted to give men a second chance. I wanted to help men. I feel like around that time, and still, there was this epidemic of police officers killing Black men. So I thought to myself, how could I help? How could I make a difference? And I thought that becoming a cop would be the best way to help. And I really, really took that time as a police officer and did what I said that I wanted to do, was give Black men a second chance. I have a son, and I wouldn't want him to be arrested for a petty crime. I would appreciate if there was an officer that pulled him aside and was like, listen, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to call your mom and deal with it in-house, that kind of way. Handle your community, take care of your community, because policing is not just arresting people. Right. It's not just taking people to jail. It's getting to know the people in your community, taking care of them. So I really, really wanted to give men what they didn't have in policing. So I became a cop, and it prepared me. I couldn't believe how it prepared me for everything that I went through. It made me a stronger person. When they literally break you down to build you up. So I became such a strong person mentally, emotionally, and physically because of that experience. And it's just so crazy to see how my life has shifted from wanting to serve men and help men to now me wanting to help women.
Right.
So
There's so many, that's very beautiful of you. But there's so many different misconceptions about becoming a police officer, especially in this country, because we see all the things that happens on social media where policing is concerned. You having the opportunity to be a part of the force and seeing everything firsthand, what would you say to some of these people who think that being a police is just completely bad, it's negative, all they do is beat up people, or you know what I mean? What would you say to those people?
I was surrounded by a lot of good police officers, a lot of good people. They're people just like everyone else. They come out, they put their life on the lines to protect and serve. And there's some really, really good people out there. Every group has their bad apples. I know that I was surrounded by some really, really good people that would take the clothes off their back for you. They're just trying to come out there and do their job and go home in one piece, you know?
Right.
My friends, I made some of the best friends that I've ever had in my life being a police officer. And they are, in my group, they were the best people that I've ever met. They were the most honest people that I've ever met, the hardest working people that I've ever met. They would literally take the clothes off their back for anyone. So I know that there's a bad stigma about police officers, and that's why I became one. I wanted to change that, because if you get pulled over by me or you encounter me, you're gonna have a good day. You're gonna have a real good day. I'm gonna help you out as best as I could.
Right. So you weren't that type of cop who, I want to arrest somebody today.
Oh, let me tell you something. Arresting someone is hard work. It is a lot of work. To take someone to jail is a lot of work. So that I definitely was not that cop like, oh yeah, let's arrest someone today. I was the kind of cop, how can I help you? How can I get you out of this situation? If I absolutely have to arrest you, who can pick your car up? I don't want to tow your car. Who can come get your stuff for you? Of course, there's people that'll give you the business any way you flip it. They'll tow your car. They'll take your stuff, anything like that. I wasn't that person. If I could help you out, if I could stop a young Black man from going to jail, I'm absolutely going to do that. I would want someone to do that for my son. I would want an officer to call me and say, your son is out here carrying on, come and get him. I would want somebody to do that for me. And that's what I did for the community that I served.
You're thoughtful, you are a police officer, you're a mother, you're a woman. What would you say to just completely dismiss anybody who considered or look at you as a fan or just a groupie?
I don't know what I would say to that. A groupie. What is a groupie? What is a groupie?
I guess a groupie would be that person, that male or female, who tries to push up on someone who's famous, or always trying to get into that person's space.
I don't get, the only person that I was ever starstruck by was Beyonce. And now that's a star. Okay, that is a star. That is the only celebrity that I've come into contact with that my jaw hit the ground, and she's deserving of that. I was in awe. Everyone, you're a human just like me. You're human just like me. I may enjoy your craft or your art, but there's nothing that's going to make me take me out of my character because of your performance, or you're an entertainer. And I'm honest. The only person I went crazy for was Beyonce. So you know what? If you're not Beyonce, I am not a groupie. Okay,
Right.
you're just a regular. People are people.
Right.
I'm not blown away by that kind of stuff. So
Right.
it is what it is.
I agree with you. Being a police officer, I'm assuming the training is hard, is rigorous. You have to be disciplined. You have to be strong and focused. During that time when this person put out the video of you, how did that training prepare you to hold on to who you are and didn't just disappear?
You know what? I was embarrassed. I was humiliated, but I'm not ashamed, if that makes any sense. I'm not ashamed. I feel like I worked my whole life to be a respectable person. I always was. I come from a respectable family. Both of my parents are retired officers, and I followed in their footsteps. And for that to have happened, it just opened the door for so many people to think that they could disrespect me, for men to see me as a sex object and think that they could disrespect me
say
and
whatever
just,
they want.
tear me apart.
Right.
And women too. Women, they've done it too. But back to my training, they break you down to build you up. And I remember being at my lowest in that academy, feeling like I couldn't keep up, like I couldn't make it anymore. They push you to your limit every day. Every day they push you to your limit. And at the end of the day, when you realize you survived this, it's a feeling like no other. It's like, I did it, and I'm gonna come here tomorrow and I'm gonna do it again. You live to see another day. So I definitely, that was the lowest point in my life, seeing those images out there of me, watching my mother cry, her daughter. That was a hard thing for my family, the house. We were so sad. It was a black cloud over this house. It was really, really bad. But I had to really walk myself through it. Like, yeah, this is terrible. It's embarrassing, but you didn't put this out there. This is not going to represent you. This is not what you put out there and say, hey, this is me. I didn't do that. And I'm not going to be ashamed because someone else did it. You know what I mean? So I really just had to hold my head high and keep and push through that. It was tough. It still is. It still is.
I've been through many different traumatic experiences, so many that it brought me to points of substance abuse. I would drink right around the clock. Sometimes I'll wake up in places that I know I didn't go there. Having this situation happen to you, was there a point where you felt like, I'm gonna kill myself? I'm gonna drown myself in some substance? Or was there ever a time you felt like, I want to go?
I definitely felt like I didn't want to deal. I wanted an escape, and I didn't want to deal with a lot of the things that were going on, or a lot of the things that were being said. But I'm a mother before anything, and my son, he needs me. My son needs me. I think when I was in the situation, I definitely think I turned to alcohol a lot. And it was so crazy to see when I got out of it, and I was still going through the motions and still sad and depressed and hurt and feeling betrayed and going through all of these emotions. When I was out of that situation, I didn't need it anymore. I didn't want it anymore.
Wow.
I didn't want it anymore. I really, it was a kind of a numbing, it was a coping mechanism. I drank a lot when I was in that situation. I don't. If I go out, I'll have a drink. It's just, you need something to help you get through. You need something to help you take your mind off of what you're going through. And that was my thing at the time. But I know that I would make it through. I know that I would be okay. So that me not wanting to live or killing myself, I could never. I could never.
It's actually beautiful that you said that you're a mother first and you thought of your son, which is your only child. So therefore you never thought of wanting to kill yourself because you had a lot to live for. But let me ask you this though. Social media can be very nasty, very evil. Because you're behind your phone, you're behind your computer. Kirby can't touch me, Debbie can't touch me. I can say whatever I want to say to these people. What are some of the worst things that you've seen come from people after they saw the tape?
It's a lot. It's a lot. People told me to kill myself, that I should have gotten beaten until I was deaf.
Wow.
Yeah. Things about my son that I won't repeat. My grandmother's, she's ill. She's really old. She's in a nursing home. Someone was threatening me, telling me I should go check on her, you better make sure your grandmother's okay. You better watch your back in the streets.
Wow.
I can't even name.
Wait a minute. Did you make that public that your grandmother was sick on any of your platforms?
You breaking up a little.
I was asking, did you ever made it public that your grandmother was in a nursing home?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh.
People know. I think people know.
Oh, because I'm like, that sounds like it would have been someone who to have that personal information.
If anyone knows me, like really knows me, they know the serious love affair that I have with my grandmother. We were really, really close. Really, she's my heart. So for them to want to scare me or intimidate me and say, you need to go check on your grandmother, it was all sorts of things. People talking about me being a mom to my son, and it's so unfortunate because this could really happen to anyone. So if you put yourself in my shoes or think about this happening to your loved one or somebody that you care about, it's like, how do you say those things to someone? How do you say that to a stranger? I would never write anything like that to take the time out of my day.
The comfort of knowing that you could never see them, you can't touch them.
And I'll tell you what, Debbie, and I feel like I've gotten better at it. Before, I really had a hard time going out and being social. One, because I was embarrassed. I felt like everyone was staring at me. I felt like everyone was talking about it. And the real reason is because I don't know how I would react if they said those things to me, to my face, that they were typing on the internet, because typing is one thing, but to say that to my face.
Oh, wow. You got those too?
No, I didn't get it, but that was one of the reasons I didn't. I was kind of afraid to go out. I'm like, what if someone's bold enough to say these things to me in my face, because behind the computer is different.
Right.
So I definitely had to think about that too.
Did you lose friends from this situation?
Yeah. I don't know if, I wouldn't say that I lost them, but we definitely are not as close as we used to be. I had one friend that I have, I grew up with her, and something that a personal message that she had sent me was shared on the internet, and she was really upset with me about that.
You shared the information?
No, I didn't share it. It was shared.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something that she had sent to me, between her and I, and it was shared. And, I have a few friends that I know are disappointed that, I went back. I feel like, people tried to help me get out of the situation, and I did, and I went back. So there's a few people that are disappointed in me, and I get that. I
Mm-hmm.
get that.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that people can be disappointed or formulate their own opinions when they've never been in a situation, and if they're not in the situation. I grew up in an abusive household, and I saw my mother left, and then she went back, and she left, and she went back. But she's a mother of 4 kids, you know, and she knows nothing other than being in a relationship with this person. So then for her to just leave completely is something that's absolutely hard, because then you're a mother to 4 children. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, as an adult, I know now that she took the disrespect and the hurt because of us. You understand? I understand that now, but when I was younger, I was so upset with her. I didn't want to become her. I never wanted to be in a situation so much. So I said to myself, when I get a man, I want to make sure that he's so weak, I beat him every day. That's that. That was
Debbie,
my,
not easy every day.
that's honestly, Kirby, that was my chain of thought. I said, I want him so weak that I could beat him, but just being young and not understanding. I got,
It's because of what you've seen.
yeah, but
Yeah.
a relationship is awesome right now. Even the relationship with my dad is absolutely wonderful. I wasn't able to speak to him when I was younger. It was so hard because I couldn't understand, just it was just too much that we were being exposed to. So being on that topic, what is the relationship like with your one and only son, who heard so much, who saw so much? How did that affect you guys' relationship?
Yeah. We were really, really close. We were really close. He would come and climb in my bed. He would lay down with me. We were really, really close. I think that he I think that he went through so much in a small space of time. He's seen so much. I feel like he had to comfort me so much. It it really forced him to grow up a little faster than he should have. He's a little bit closer to that maturity than he should be, because he had to be there for me. He had to
Mm-hmm.
be there for me. He had to scrape me up off the floor, wipe my tears. He had to be my crutch. So I definitely think before I was in this situation, I had a much closer relationship with my son. I think that he's more mature because of what happened, and it's not something that I'm proud of. I want him to, be a child, but I think he learned how to deal with a lot of things on his own, because I couldn't help myself at the time. So he
Mm-hmm.
had to work through a lot of things on his own. And we're in therapy right now. And my goal is to get us back on track to where we were before all of this happened, because I know that, and we're still close, don't get me wrong, that's still my
Uh-huh.
baby. We're still close, but it's different. It's different. I see a difference in him for sure. I see a
Mm-hmm.
difference in him for sure. So we're both in therapy, and I just, I think he understands, what I went through, and he's an amazing kid. He really, really is an amazing kid. I wouldn't have been able to survive without him. Really,
Mm-hmm.
the way he understood things, the way he was so patient with me. He a lot of people don't understand that trauma bonding and going back, and every time I went back, it was like, he's like, whatever you want to do, I got your back, mom. If that's what you want to do, okay. So
Wow.
he's really, really super supportive. He's going to be an awesome man to some lady one day. Let me tell you, that little boy, he really,
Mm-hmm.
really is. He's a good kid. So we're getting back on track. We're getting back to where we need to be.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. In our Black community, unfortunately, a lot of us don't believe in therapy. Now that you're in therapy with your son trying to repair the relationship, what are your thoughts on the larger Black population not believing in therapy?
Um, I think that they should give it a chance before
Mm-hmm.
they, exit out. I think a lot of it is being heard, being able to hear your thoughts aloud, being able to just speak with no judgment and say how you feel and not have someone there cutting you off or judging you or telling you. Just being able to say how you really feel is therapeutic. Is to get it out, to speak it.
Uh-huh.
If you're holding it, if you're not speaking it, you're storing it, and that's heavy. You have to let it go. You have to let it go. And I love my therapist. She's easy to talk to. She's she's amazing. She's really, really smart, and she brought a lot of things to light, and it's nothing that I'm ashamed or embarrassed to tell her. So it's
Mhm.
it's really, really helpful. My son and I, we have the same therapist. He sees her, I see her, we go together. So it's definitely helpful. She help us put game plans in order that'll help us grow. So it's helpful. It's needed. It's needed. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, somebody that'll listen and not pick you apart.
Right. In the beginning of our conversation, I saw how much light was shining from you when you spoke about being a police officer and your life before this relationship. But then your face just changes to a dimmer light when you speak of the relationship. Do you feel as if that you were a better person way before the relationship and after the relationship? Do you believe that this relationship changed Kirby in a sense?
I definitely think it changed me. Um, I think that I was in a really good place before I was in that situation. I was in a really good place in my career financially. I was doing well. I was doing really good. And I wanted love. So I feel like I always say to myself I was greedy because I felt like I had so much already and I still wanted more.
Mhm.
And it definitely changed me, but for the better. But for the better. What can I survive after this? What can I grow from? What can I blossom from after this? I think that everything happens for a reason. It's just so crazy to see how starting out I wanted to serve men. I wanted to help Black men, and now my focus is on women, the passion and the love that I have for women. And I have that because I've been there. I can't tell you how many messages, hundreds of messages that I got from women, from girls that are in abusive relationships and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to. I remember one night responding for hours, and I was so far from what I was going through, just responding to them. It just broke my heart for them that they were going through that and not even remembering I just got out of this situation. So I definitely think it changed me. Um, but I'm more compassionate. I'm softer. I'm kinder. I'm more patient. So that's how it changed me, because everything that I got from people that were negative, I want to work overtime to change that. I want to be the complete opposite of that. So that's how
Mhm.
it changed me.
Mhm. A lot of times when we as women go through situations like this, situations of abuse, verbal, physical, whatever it is, our first action is to not speak, to not say anything, and maybe stay in a corner and be silent? Why did you choose not to be silent?
The truth is I was silent before.
Mm-hmm.
There were times that I thought it was over and I was silent before. And I knew that, eh, Debbie, I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think any of this would happen with me coming out and saying, what happened to me. I didn't think any of this would happen. What I knew was if I held my feet to the fire and I told everyone what was happening to me, I would not go back. I would be shamed into staying put. And people don't understand that trauma bonding, why if it's so bad, why'd you go back, why'd you this, why'd you that. People don't understand it, and I get that. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I kept going back, and I knew that I had to do something to stop that. And
How many
and
times
that's
would you say, hold on, Kirby, how many times would you say you went back?
Maybe 4 or 5, a few times.
Mm-hmm.
A few times. So people don't get that, and I get that I realize that it's upsetting to some people to you're in a bad situation. Why don't you just get out of it? Why don't you just put a stop to it?
Not that easy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that easy. So
what was most upsetting to me, having to do with this particular situation, is that too many things that happened within the relationship was used against you. And a lot of times we as women, that's one of the reasons why we stay quiet, because within the relationship we've done so much. We've spoken about so many things. I've shared my secrets, you shared your secrets, and sometimes we don't want those things to be used against us. Knowing a lot of the intimate details and intimate things that you guys did together, how did that make you feel after seeing everything that was just being tossed out there, and then the public just grabbed whatever that was being tossed and then use it against you?
First of all, a lot of the things that were being said were not true.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, it did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to distract everyone from my initial statement, and that's what it did. And that people do what they need to do for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, that was done. I guess I don't want to go too much into it, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those things weren't true, and I had to be able to tell myself that you know who you are. You know who you are. These people don't know you. These things that are being fed to them, they're eating it up. They don't know who you are, and that's okay. Not everybody should have the privilege to know who I am. So it's hard. It's hard to have had something terrible happen to you and have people hate you because of it. Have people upset with you because you said, "Look, this happened to me," and people are infuriated by it, or they think you have an ulterior motive. Now, what could I possibly gain? What could I possibly gain by saying that this terrible thing has happened to me in my life? What could I possibly gain by that? Followers? Because I didn't ask for that, and I'm okay without followers. I didn't do this for attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that narrative was also painted that I wanted attention, and Debbie, I'm an okay looking girl. I
Oh,
don't need
girl,
to do
you
I
are
don't need
way
to
past
I don't
being
need to do
okay
all of this for
looking.
attention. I know that I had to stand up for myself. I know that I had to stand up for myself, and that I wasn't going to let anybody shame me under a rock. I had to stand up for myself. My son is watching. My mother is watching. My sister's watching. My niece, my family is watching. They watch me go through this. It's like, when are you going to stand up for you?
Mm-hmm.
When are you,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't always been this person in that situation. I've been the person to let things go, to sweep things under the rug, to just come back, to be quiet, to just, and I'm not there anymore. I'm not there anymore.
Right. Um, your son, I want to ask you one more question about him. Did you have to, when you finally decided that this is over, I'm out, I'm gone, right? Did you put yourself in a position where you had to sit him down and had that real conversation with him, like, son, I know that this has been going on for a while. I've always left and went back, but this time is for real. Did you have that type of conversation?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. He, like I said, he has my back 110%, and he knows that that wasn't the best situation for me. He knows that I was not happy. He'd come to me so many times like, "Mommy, are you okay?" When no one noticed that, you know, I was really hurting inside. He noticed, and he's proud of me. He's proud of me. I think he said something along the lines like, "Finally," like, just waiting for you to get it together. Like, I know this wasn't it. Just wait for you to recognize it. So
Yeah,
he, I definitely said multiple conversations I had to have with him, and I know that I'm not done. I know that I'm not done having those conversations with him, because this thing that I went through, it doesn't go away from me. He's gonna get older. His friends are gonna mention it to him. There's gonna be somebody that says, "Hey, I saw your mom," and I'm gonna have to be there for him. I'm gonna have to have that conversation with him again, and I'll have that conversation with him until I'm blue in the face. I owe him that much. I owe
yeah.
him that much to answer any questions he has.
Mm-hmm. I'm very proud of you for the mere fact that you decided to stand up and just speak for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I realized that I'm not just doing this for me. There there were so many girls, young girls too, and older women, all kinds of ages, that reached out to me, and I know that people are looking at me to see how this winds up for me, because they want to know what's in store, what's going to happen to them, what should they do, and they should stand firm. That's what they should do.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be ashamed of their truth. Nobody should be ashamed of their truth.
Right. I do remember watching one of your lives one time, and the things that you were saying was hitting me so hard. I think I even started crying, and I sent you a DM like, never stop talking. Of course you didn't see it, but at the same time, I wanted you to if there was a possibility that you did see it, to show that you have support, not just your mom, your sisters, or your immediate circle. You have support. Not a lot of us get the opportunity to say something to someone of your status and then it's seen. Unfortunately, sometimes the negative overweighs the positive, so I wanted you to know that, girl, what you're doing is absolutely amazing. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're strong. You're intelligent. You're powerful. You know, Too many times we forget that we're all human beings. And sometimes we as women, we judge wrongfully, and we say the wrong things when we, the victims, sometimes we're looking for someone to say, it's okay, you're doing the right thing. Instead, we jump to assumptions. She need attention. You know, see, because a man bigger than she want big too. You know what I mean? So in this moment, like never stop talking, never stop sharing what you've been through. Let your light shine. You know, don't let
Absolutely.
nobody create that false narrative about you when you know who
Absolutely.
you are as a person.
Absolutely. I and it took me a while to get there, to be where I am today, because it bothered me a lot. I'm like, they think I'm a terrible person, they think I'm this, they think I'm that, but they don't know me. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
me, and it's not my job to prove anything to people. It's not my job to prove anything to people, because if your natural instinct to a woman in her lowest time, if your natural instinct is to be nasty and accuse her and point the finger at her, you're not someone that deserves to know me, that you're not someone that I want around me, or you're not someone that I should even care what your opinion of me is. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Mm, I feel like women's job is to uplift one another, to take care of one another. And I feel like I don't see that enough.
No.
I don't see that enough. And the journey that I'm on is to make that a thing. This is what's up today. Women looking out for one another, women taking care of each other, holding each other accountable, fixing each other's crowns. That's what it's about. The bashing, the behind the back thing, that's old. That's played out.
Mm-hmm.
That's played out. We're not doing that no more. We're not
Mm-hmm.
doing that no more. The age that we in, women are so undervalued. They're so undervalued. Women have to and I was there before. Everything that a woman is to get a husband, or everything that you are is to please a man, or to secure a spot in a man's life, instead of just being who you are unapologetically. I've been there before. I came from being a really strong will, strong mind person, having my own, being independent, to wanting to please a man. I've dwindled down to nothing trying to please a man. It took everything out of me to pretend to be so small.
Wow, to pretend to be so small.
Yeah, and it's not, pretending to be small is not worth having a man. Any real man will not be intimidated by your power, by your beauty, by your femininity. Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
Is that a word? By you being sexy, they're not going to be intimidated by that. That's the men that you want to look for.
Yes. Yes,
That's
yes.
the men that you want to look for. I just want women to really to be confident in who they are. It's such a I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, and he was saying, he showed me it was like a study, and all these guys voted on girls that were dressed sexy. The girls were dressed sexy, and they all voted. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't wife her. Yeah, I'll just sleep with her and I'll pass. And I thought to myself, they're cheating themselves, because she has
Yeah.
her cleavage out. She's automatically X off the list because she's dressed sexy. What if she's the most smart, kind, loving person, loyal person that you'd ever meet, but because she's sexy, she's automatically X'd off your list? And it sucks. It
It's
sucks.
sad.
Confidence is sexy.
I know.
Confidence is sexy. What's well? How come men are allowed to be strong and be macho and be manly, and it's accepted, but when a woman is feminine and she's sexy and she owns that and
Then
she
it's a
dresses
problem.
sexy, it's a problem. It's a problem. I'm not into the business of putting women into a box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into that business. So if that intimidates you or that makes you feel some type of way, that's in a woman's nature. That's in a woman's nature, to be sensual, to be nurturing, to be that person. And when a woman comes along and she owns it and she knows she's sexy and she feels it and she believes it, you're intimidated.
Were you still able to be that being that
You know
person in
what?
the relationship?
When I was in that situation, if I was able to be that person, you know what? Uh, yes and no. Yes and no. I feel like I feel like there was a time and place for everything in that. But for the most part, I wasn't myself. For the most part, I wasn't myself. I feel like you enjoy those beautiful parts of me sexually. You enjoy that. That's something that you love about me. And the minute that you don't have it anymore, it's like, oh, look at her, look at that. And that's whack. That's whack. Be who you are. I am who I am. I tell you what, anyone that has ever been close to me and is not anymore, they are missing out. That's just a fact. And because I'm a good person. I'm a good person. If you're used to having me around and you don't anymore, you're going to miss me. You're going to miss me. So you could tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to get through it, or everybody else, because that's what it is. You're trying to convince yourself, and that's fine. That's fine.
What is it about Kirby that you think people don't know and they should know? What is that one special thing about you? I know there's a lot of special things.
Yeah,
but
I think people don't know that my sense of humor is out of this world. And it still affects me today. I feel like I get, when I know that there's a camera around and people are watching, I try to, just because of, and that's natural, just because of everything that I've been through. But Kirby is a world of fun. Kirby's a world of fun. You're going to have an amazing time with me. I'm the girl next door. You're going to feel like we've been friends forever. I love people. I love people, and I hate that lately. I had to put this guard up around me to protect myself. And that's something that's also changed me. I'm more protective over me, of who I have in my circle. But Kirby is very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Accepting. I love people. You'll have the time of your life with me.
Okay, so Kirby, with all that you've endured, right? Is Kirby still open to love?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Who can stop that?
Right.
That's inevitable. Who can stop that? Of course I am. Girl, I deserve it. I deserve it, okay?
After all you've been through.
I deserve it. I definitely think I'll be way more cautious, and I'll definitely take my time with things. And my number one goal in my next relationship is to stay true to myself. So I'm not gonna let anyone. Are they for real? I'm not gonna let anyone change who I am in order to feel loved. So
right. Plus you would have known some of the warning signs. some of the warning signs that you may have ignored.
Yeah, and I feel like I ignored it because I wanted so badly. And I feel like that's what a lot of women go through today. I wanted so badly for that to work out. I wanted so badly to get married, to be a wife, that I ignored a lot of crap that I knew I couldn't deal with. And no one should ever have to do that. And I know that a lot of women go through that. They deal with a lot of things because they want to be married, because they want to be a wife. Why is that such a huge goal, that you would live this life of lies and everything just to say, yes, I'm married, I'm his wife? It's not worth it to me. That title is not worth what I went through.
Right. What do you think of this statement that hurt people hurt people?
It depends on what you do with your hurt, because you can definitely turn your pain into something positive. So not everything that has happened to you, you have to give it back out, because I was hurt, and I don't want to go out there and be like, oh, I'm angry, this happened to me, I want to hurt people. No, I want to help women. I want better for women. I want better for myself. I want better for the women around me, in my culture. So if you are strong enough, if your mind is in the right place and your heart is in the right place and you were hurt, your goal is not to hurt anyone else. It's how do I stop this from happening to somebody else? How do I make sure nobody goes through what I just went through? Because that's how I feel.
Tell me more about Protect Her, or Be About Her.
Be About Her. I created Be About Her for anybody who holds women in high regard, for anybody who protects women, for anybody who puts women on a pedestal, for anybody who believes that women are the center of this universe. I started the line off with t-shirts, and it's bold statements. So everything that women want to say and they think and they really don't, that's Be About Her. Be About Her is protecting women. Be About Her is women uplifting women. It's everything that I want for women today, to speak up for themselves, to be bold, to be unapologetic, to say how they really feel. So I created Be About Her, and that's my baby and my safe place. And it's lemons. It's lemonade from these lemons, honey.
Right. Giving everybody a better taste. Kirby, I commend you for your strength. You said earlier that I'm okay looking. Girl, you are fine. You are beautiful. I don't know about no okay looking. You are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And keep being you. Keep being you and never stop being you. People are gonna come, they're gonna say negative, some are gonna stand with you, some are gonna be positive. And that's something that we know in this world. There's a negative and there's a positive. So keep being you and keep moving towards changing the world.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you feel like we haven't touched yet and you want to get it out there about, Kirby?
I think that there's this stigma about me that I don't like men. I feel like men are so intimidated because I hold women in such high regard that they feel like I don't care about them, and that's not the truth. My journey started out with me wanting to protect men and help men, and my vision has just changed a little bit. My assignment has just changed a little bit, but I absolutely adore men. I absolutely want to protect men and still value men, Black men, still to this day. I just am focused on my women right now, and that's fine.
It's
that's
completely
fine.
fine.
I love you all. It's not that I have this, I don't have a hate for men at all. I'm raising a son, I'm raising a boy. So
Mhm.
I definitely wanted to clear that up.
Awesome. I did find it really cool that one of these days, well, a while back, Dexter Dops had jumped on to a live that you were on, and he was encouraging you, like, keep it going, never stop doing what you're doing, never stop being you.
Yeah, I that made my heart smile to come from him, because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people in the Caribbean community were not happy with, everything that had happened. So that meant a lot to come from somebody of his stature. That was cool. That
Mm-hmm.
was cool. I I it, I wanted to mention that I started Women Wednesday before all of this had happened to me. Before
Mm-hmm.
everything happened to me, I started a live, and I did it because I remember I felt really lonely. I felt like I didn't have anything for myself, and I thought to myself, if I'm going through this,
And hold
there's
on, and
other women.
you're in a relationship and you still felt lonely.
Yeah, I was not in a good place. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, I said, if I'm going through this, there's other women going through this. And I thought about something that we could do, like have a girls' talk, a girls' time. So I started that before all of this crazy stuff happened to me. So after it happened, why would I stop?
Right,
Why would I stop?
right.
So it definitely wasn't for, if you go back and pay attention, Women Wednesday started before all of this controversy, and I'm going to continue doing it. I'm going to continue to uplift women.
How is it doing now in your live? Do you feel like more and more people are now coming on?
Yeah, I think that it's doing well. I feel like I definitely want to take it to a different platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I always say that it's a safe place, I want it to really be a safe place, because I know that there's people on there watching that just want to, you know, hear the gossip and hear the things that are not so great. I really want it to be a platform where women could really share ideas and experiences and be safe. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm working on a different platform other than Instagram. I don't think that's the place for me to do it anymore.
Okay, you might end up doing a podcast.
Uh, I'm
Maybe
open.
you're open, or you want to leave some surprises, huh?
I'm definitely open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely open. I definitely feel like I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things to share, and a lot of things that I want to speak about with women and share with women.
Mm-hmm.
And also a lot of things that I could learn from women. I'm still learning. I haven't arrived yet, honey. I know I still have a long way to go. You know,
Right.
I know I still have a long way to go. So
But at the same time, you could see the progress and you know where you're headed.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you, Kirby, for spending time with me on the Debbion Newman project today. I had a good time with you. And
Me too.
you were smiling so much that light was just shining, girl. And I love your hair.
Thank you, Debbie, because we was talking about us doing our own thing, talking about what we want to talk about, girl.
Right. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
Empowering each other, supporting each other, just being there. Sometimes blocking out the noise and being yourself is all we really need. Tell everybody where they could get your merch.
you can check me out on Instagram at beabouther, and also beabouther.com. If you hold women in high regard and you honor and love women, Be About Her is for you.
Mm-hmm. You're awesome, Kirby. I'm happy we got this opportunity to talk.
Me too. This is a good girls talk. All we're missing is a little wine, but it's too early.
Oh my God, you know what? I did take a few sips
That looks like
before.
rum punch. What is it?
You know what it is? It is rum punch. It's called Island Reds. It's created by Stacy from she lives in New York too.
It
So
looks
she's a
good. It looks so
yeah.
good and fruity.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine, so I support her product and it actually tastes really good
It looks good.
for sure. I am gonna be a good girl. I'm not gonna finish it because it's so early, but I might take a few more sips later on. So thank you again, Kirby. You are awesome and all the best. And I'm gonna get my merch for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Debbie. I appreciate you so much.
No
I could, and
problem.
I could tell by speaking to you that you followed my journey and you've been
I did.
supporting me and rooting for me, and I appreciate that so much. I
I
appreciate
did.
the world needs more of you, women
I
like you.
did. I did. To be honest with you, I don't want to be that person the minute the gossip hits line that I jump on that wagon to start bashing anybody. Dovey Magnum was going through her situation the other day and everybody had so much to say. The first thing I did, me and my husband, we went to her website and purchased something from her. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
She knows her business. She knows what's going on in her life. It's not for
Mhm.
us to judge unless she comes on a platform like this and say it like it is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I always want to be that person who supports,
Yeah.
not just to beat you up because somebody else is saying something. And this is what my platform is about. It's about being in a safe space. I could have done gossip. You know what I mean? I could have been
Yeah.
one of those people to, so what position were you in when? Or so at what point? I don't like it. I feel like it contributes to hurting somebody else's mental health.
Oh my God.
You know?
I was hoping you said that. I was like, please say mental health. Please say mental
Yes,
health.
it does.
People don't realize when someone is going through something already and you add the extra fire and the negative things, it can really break you down.
It
It
takes
can
you over the
really,
edge.
mental health is a real thing and we have to take care of each other. We really
Right.
do.
Right. That's why I didn't want it to add to that negative force, to say something terrible about another woman. Where's my benefit? How does that
What did you
benefit me?
gain? Did it make you feel better?
Exactly, that's the question. And then sometimes we hear that that person attempted to do something to themselves, or that person did this or whatever. You did it. You, the public, did it
Right.
because you added fuel to that fire.
Right.
That you need to hold yourself accountable for some of these things that you do to those who are in the public's eye. You don't become supernatural because you're famous. You know
Right.
what I mean? You are still a human being. You still have feelings just like anybody else. So I don't know, I don't understand how people feel comfortable or feel relaxed in themselves, knowing that they just added to that problem.
Yeah, knowing that they just broke someone down, tore someone apart. Words are powerful. Words are powerful.
Right? Knowing that they're already going through it. Just like you in your situation, you're a mom. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. We're human beings. If we really bond together and hold each other up, honestly, Kirby, so much would be different.
There would be nothing that we couldn't do.
Would
There'd
be a
be nothing
force
that
to
we
be
couldn't
reckoned
do.
with. Would be a force, definitely. But I'm not going to hold you up any longer. So once again, thank you so much for being on my platform. Myself and the Reggae Hub, we appreciate you. Keep on doing good and take care of yourself and the family.
Always. Thank you, Debbie. Blessings. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me. This was fun.
It was fun for me too. Next time, if there's a part 2, bring the wine or some
Oh
rum punch.
yes. We have to do it later. We have to do it later. I felt guilty for pouring wine this early. So if we do this again, it'll be a later with the drink in hand.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So happy Sunday and we will be in touch.
Bye, girl.
Bye-bye.
If you've made it this far, that really only means that we're at the end of another conversation. But just before you roll into the next episode, it's time for you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Catch you on the next episode.